Hey, good morning. So today we're going to read Joshua 8, 1 through 29. It's the destruction of Ai. So pause me and read. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward stuff. It's a battle. For those of you who are totally interested in battle plans, this might be very interesting. It starts out with God telling Joshua, okay, we've got this other stuff behind us now, so I'm giving you Ai. You just need to go and take it. And but you can keep the plunder this time. So the reason they couldn't keep the plunder at Jericho was because it was kind of a first fruits type thing, which is a big deal when it comes to sacrificing to the Lord, and that you can read about that in Leviticus if you're interested. Around Leviticus 2, I think. So, but here's how you're supposed to do it, Joshua. You're supposed to set an ambush behind the city. So Joshua had this plan, in which you'll see he carried it out with the people behind his armies, behind the city. And so the cities kind of are, even these tribal cities are kind of fortified, or they have a border around them. And so if something's behind the city, then they don't really see it because they have gates, and the gates are usually at the front. The bigger the city, the more gates they had. But this was apparently a pretty small city, but it did have a strategic point in that it guarded this path, this highway into Canaan. Well, I won't say it guarded it, but it overlooked it. So you couldn't get into Canaan on this road without taking Ai. So they set up behind the city, and they attack from the front, and Ai is overconfident. They haven't really scouted out enough to know that there's people behind the city. And Joshua, through this whole thing, holds up this javelin. This is down in verse 18, toward Ai, and he held it during the entire battle. So the men rush out of Ai, all the men, kind of crazy, but all the men rush out of Ai, and they try and chase these guys off. And the guys from behind, the Israelites from behind, come in and they take the city, and then the Israelites in the front they think they're chasing, they turn around and fight them, and everybody in Ai dies. And but they did get to keep the spoils, and that does include the cattle and the sheep and livestock, I'm pretty sure. So then yes, it does include the livestock, it says in 27. So they impaled or hung the king on a tree. Some people say that means impaled. So it was kind of a big ceremonial thing to hang the king. Wouldn't want to be a king. And then they took the king off the tree at the end of the day at sunset, and they buried him, and they put him at the gate to the city, and they put rocks all over him. So this is pretty much a story of a battle that God had ordained. He had explained how it was going to happen. He had given orders to Joshua to hold up the javelin, which he did. And so the lesson is, if we listen to God, things might work out. It's an amazing thing that he can actually do these miracles. So be open to God's leading in your life.